man? You gonna win today?
I'm sure as hell gonna try.
Chasing wins, right? So we're going to jump right in here at the starting line of VCHSS Round 5 2019 Reddy hole. If you guys haven't seen last year's video of this race, make sure you check that one out. It's a good one. I placed 10th or 11th, 12th, I don't know, something like that. But it was an awesome race. The starting line was a little different. It was kind of shifted over to the right, but the direction is the same. So I was anticipating that it would be pretty much the same race as last year, but there was a lot cut out. We had an okay start. We got off the line around the first turn, third, and ended up coming into the woods 7th or 8th place. Now, if you guys know anything about my riding style, I am not that confident in flat turns and sandy stuff and just being out wide open throttle in those fast sections. But I can definitely make up for it in the woods, especially in the tight stuff. That's why I love this race so much, because last year and the year before that, a lot of it was really tight. This year, from what I noticed, they cut out a lot of the tight sections. The little brick section wasn't in there again, which was kind of disappointing, but it's still an awesome race. And we got the whole entire first lap. Basically, I cut a little bit out here and there, boring parts, you know. So we got a majority of the first lap and a lot of the first lap jitters out of the way.
Go for you, Scott.
Those of you that don't know, that's our buddy Scott. He's one of the top riders in our class, and I will leave his YouTube channel in the description below. If you guys want to check out his stuff, he is extremely fast, and for me to catch him in the woods was just a confidence booster all over. And as you guys can see, I got a little overwhelmed with trying to catch him and pass him, and I ended up hitting a tree and lost the placement. But we still have 3 3/4 of a lap to go, and I'm hoping I can catch him some other time in the woods. Now this actually caught me off guard. So I looked at the marshals, and as you guys saw, I double double check just to make sure that we weren't going past them, and we had to make that right-hand turn to get over that little log. Now, if you guys seen any of my other videos and the log crossings and all that stuff, logs are not really a big problem for me. And this little itty-bitty guy it had me stuck. I had no idea what was going on. It was at an angle. The marshals were in my way. I was confused, and and there's no excuse. I should have been able to get over that log. Now, the reason I put so much fire in the thumbnail for this video is because it is well over 90 degrees out here in Surrey, Virginia. The humidity is up because we live right on the coastline, and it is just sticky and miserable. And this is usually this race and our Tidewater race is probably the hottest races of our year, out of the whole entire season. I do ride with a camel pack on, and I have the hose set up strapped to the side of my helmet coming in the face of my helmet, so I always have water to rehydrate everything that I'm trying to sweat out. And I have electrolytes that drip into the water bag and all that stuff. Usually I put about 90% ice and a couple water bottles in my camel pack to keep my back cool, and I'll drink probably 50% of it, and then I'll just swish the other 50% around in my mouth and actually spit it out, because that actually really does keep me cooled off, and it basically helps throughout the entire race. This is actually F-class, the class that is in front of us, the 4-stroke class. I'm trying to push this guy to get around the other guy that he's kind of slowing everybody down.
Get him! There you go. Hey!
Sometimes people need that extra little confidence boost, or somebody on their ass saying, hey, you need to get around this guy so we can keep on getting it. As you guys can see, as soon as he got around them, he just took off. So I kept waiting for the really tight sections to pop up, and it just didn't seem to happen. There's one very small, maybe 45 feet worth of really tight sections where you had to stop and kind of like really position your bars correctly to get through the trees, which is the kind of stuff that I like, but they seem to have cut a lot of that stuff out this year. And there wasn't a live engine start either, which is usually a live engine start at this race, which is another disappointing factor for this race, but it's not a game changer. It's just the evolution of the series. You guys can hear little Kimber over here is getting just as excited as I am watching this race and me doing this voiceover as I was while I was racing it. While I'm following this guy, I'm telling myself, you can catch them, you can get around them, you just got to keep up the momentum, keep the pace up, and keep your stamina up. Because I can see this guy, I don't know who he is, I don't know what number he is, I don't even know what class he is, and I don't really care. All I know is I want to get around him. And I can see him making small mistakes here and there, and it's slowing him down. So I'm slowly catching him. Sometimes you get behind people that just don't want to move. Some people say, "Oh, well, I didn't hear you," or they're racing their own race, which is okay. But when it comes down to it, there's an area where you can move off to the side and let another rider go past you. I believe you should. There's no rules stating what you need to do, and it's always in controversy. Like, "Oh, well, you should do this, you should do that," but it's a bunch of people saying you should instead of rules saying you will. And my philosophy about it is basically if somebody's coming up behind me, they need to get around, and I'm not making progress on them, and I'm just slowing them up, then yeah, I'm gonna let them get around. Especially if they yell at me 2, 3, 4, 5 times and they're on my tail, I'm gonna let them go. did 4 laps, they were 5.7 miles, 5.9 miles, something like that, which are extremely short laps for the VCHSS, which was very surprising. I was planning on doing 30 miles at least, but the silver lining in that is we didn't have to do 30 miles, and I was able to push a lot harder, a lot faster, so I could really reach and figure out where that tipping point was, where I needed to just kind of calm down a little bit. And that happened about 2 miles into the 4th lap. Finally, the heat hit me, and my momentum went down, and I would just all of a sudden was just tired and ready to get the race over with. But the first 3 laps, I was pushing and doing everything that I could to advance on other riders and other classes and try and get ahead as much as I could to see how far I could actually push it. And I'm only going to keep pushing even harder on the next upcoming races to see how much I can actually push it before I either pass out or throw up all over myself. Something I noticed while I was editing this video of the race footage was when I came to these open sections, I was looking to see how far of a gap that I had on the guy behind me. Seeing as I had a decent gap already, it would slow me down. Like I felt more comfortable, like, oh, well, I don't have to push any harder, which is a terrible thing to even think. And I need to get out of that mindset while I'm racing, because racing me and riding me is two completely different people. So what I need to do, basically, I guess, is stop looking behind me and just push forward. And keep doing what I do in the woods, just trying to catch the guy in front of us and get around him.
Come on, buddy.
So out of the 4 laps that we did, we placed 6th overall in our class for this race. We were, I believe, 5th the first lap, 6th the second, 5th the third, and then 6th the fourth. So we were back and forth a lot. I actually shaved off about 3 to 4 minutes between our first lap and our 4th lap, which was awesome. Some photographers, Stacy and a couple other people, got some really awesome shots that I'm gonna put in here in a second as soon as we get through scoring. And I really appreciate all of you guys' support and everybody that came up to me at the race and said, hey, that you know, want to talk about the YouTube channel and all that stuff, and all my buddies that I race with. So I wanted to show you guys some of these awesome pictures that were taken of our race. And there was a group of pictures that were taken during a little battle that I had with, I believe it was 3J, guy in my class. And it started right here, I believe. He was on my tail. Remember that log that I couldn't get over? Well, I decided to go around it. This is the log right here at the bottom of the screen. I went around it. He decided to go over it. And we ended up pretty much neck and neck coming off of that line and right back into the tight single track section. And to see this captured is just amazing. This is Stacy's pictures right here. I appreciate that, Stacy. And it's probably one of my favorite pictures of the few years I've been racing. That's just awesome right there. So, like I said, we placed 6th out of the class. Hopefully next week we can get a better placement because we're chasing wins. We're not chasing points. And until next time, I'm Tin West Moto, and I'll see you on the starting line.